In a world filled with false happiness and despair, there is one voice willing to speak the truth. They can take his chair, but they can never take his anger. Pierre Bernard Jr. is extremely pissed off.
Since I've started to feel more at home living here in Los Angeles, I decided to begin taking some of my toy collection out of storage and displaying them in my apartment. I figured it was time I had the pleasure of seeing some of my collectibles again. One item I was very excited to bring into my place was an 18-inch tall Betty Boop bobblehead that I had bought a while ago at a really cool store out here called Big Kid. This place has some of the most amazing items, from vintage pinball machines to hard-to-find action figures. I bought Betty Boop because it combined several of my favorite collectibles. It was a Betty Boop, a bobblehead, and also it spoke. At the time I had bought it, I wasn't feeling good about LA, so I thought, why unpack it? But now, a year and a half later, things have started to change for the better, and besides, I was dying to hear Betty say her famous line, boop boop a doop. I had the perfect spot in my living room for her. I took her out of the box, placed her down on the table, moved her head. Nothing happened. I did it a few more times. Still nothing. The box said batteries installed, so I hit it several more times. I started to feel like one of those guys who always smacked their girlfriend on the head. It felt wrong. So I decided to open her up to see if I could figure out why it wasn't working. There was a battery, all right. The problem was it had leaked. Not only did it leak, but it must have happened some time ago that the battery acid ate through the contacts and had hardened dry, causing them to break. This was a DOA toy. This wasn't the first time I've had this problem. I have a talking Mr. Burns from The Simpsons, which I caught in time and was able to save, and an Iron Man action figure as well. There was also a talking Mr. Spock bobblehead, but I couldn't fully save him. The battery had leaked, causing damage that made Spock speak at weird moments. I'd be watching TV and suddenly it would say, "Live long and prosper," or "That's not logical." It's like having a toy with Tourette's syndrome. I appreciate the fact that these toy manufacturers like to include batteries, but why can't they just place them in a separate package like electronic companies do with remotes? I have toys which I've bought, hoping to never open right away, but I know I'm chancing battery damage over keeping them sealed. In conclusion, toy manufacturers should stop pre-installing batteries so I can stop losing sleep worrying about whether or not, for example, my collectible Star Wars Talking General Grievous is safe from damage.
Live long and prosper.